Okay, we are ready to get started. So today in our masterclass, I'm going to teach you guys how to build your own AI bot for your law firm. So I've been doing that. Probably we've been building our own for about 12 months or so. So we've had plenty of time to test it out. And if you guys are, sort of using ChatGPT, for example, in a more basic form, this will help you to sort of use it in a more sophisticated way, where it's a lot more useful because it's trained specifically to your law firm. And I've got some prompts to share with you guys as well to make it super easy. So it's interesting, and we're definitely going to be talking about it a lot at LawBizCon, really like what the future of legal work looks like when it comes to using AI. It definitely can make life a lot easier and quicker, even for your legal work as well. So we use it for lots of different things, but we're certainly using it for legal work as well as other areas of our law firm, which I'll talk to you about. So today, we're going to actually learn how to build an AI bot. If you guys have got a paid version of ChatGPT, then it would be great if you could have that on the screen. Just mute someone. Sorry, just wait one sec. There we go. Yeah, just check, please, if you're on mute or not, because it just has a little bit of background noise if you're not. So if you've got the ChatGPT paid subscription, if you can have it open on your screen, then you can actually build it with me today, because I'm going to show you exactly how to do it. But if not, then you can just come back and watch this through and just use it as a guide. So the way that I've been thinking about ChatGPT or any AI is it's about creating a new team member. Honestly, the ChatGPT, if it's trained well, will be as good as a junior, if not better than a junior lawyer. It will most certainly make your junior lawyers better as well. So it is very, very helpful. So it's not about replacing people or replacing you. It's about sort of adding an additional team member to your team through having it trained. So you do need the subscription to ChatGPT. It's just the lower end subscription. So you can do either Teams, or you can just do I think it works out to be about $30 US a month, something like that. What I do is we have the one subscription. So it's the one bot trained, although I will show you how you can share your bot amongst other people and other team members. And I have everyone inside my subscription, so they just have my login. It's actually really good as well because I can see what other work is being produced inside the account, so I can see what other team members are doing. And I think the thing is that if you're not giving your team members ChatGPT or any AI, they're already probably using it, but they're not using it trained to your level. So it's just going to be better if you do allow your team members to use it on your subscription, so you at least know what's going on, if that makes sense. So we're going to be looking at what you can do with the ChatGPT bot. And obviously, my brain is probably, and my experience with it is probably so minute compared to what you can do with it. It's like an iPhone. There's so much that we're really only using a small bit, and it's moving so quickly as well. So, if you're watching this 6 months down the track from now, so we're in April 2020. It's probably going to be outdated because there's going to be so much more. We'll have a look at that. So I think that everyone should be using it. It's just makes life so much easier. It's actually really interesting too, because I'm in China at the moment and you can't get ChatGPT here. And I had to spend a week working out how I was going to present this class. But I've worked out that if I just hook it into my iPhone through Telstra, which is through Australia, I can access it, but I can't access it if I'm on the internet here. It's a blocked site. So, and even just not having it for the week, I've realized how much I'm using it for the firm. So a lot of what we do is repetitive work. And that's where ChatGPT works really well, because if you train it well, then it just knows exactly what to do next. It also is very accurate. And, as you guys know, clients get upset if lawyers have one tiny little spelling error. And with junior lawyers or VAs or even yourselves, it's easy to make mistakes. We all do. With ChatGPT, it's so accurate. And even if you're using it just simply to run your correspondence through it to make sure that it's accurate and there's no typos, that in itself is a lifesaver. It definitely increases your efficiency and makes things heaps quicker. So I'm going to share with you some things that you can do, basic things. And we're all about not working harder, but working smarter. So AI is perfect for that as well. Yeah, meet your new assistant that never sleeps. It also never complains as well, which is amazing. And sometimes it does such a good job. Like yesterday, I did something and then I was like, you just want to say thank you to it because it does such an amazing job, but it doesn't care. It does not need compliments. So that's also an easier team member than some of the other team members that we have. You don't have to give it sick leave or anything like that either. Okay, so let's talk about what it can actually do for you and how we've been using it, at least. You guys might have other suggestions too. If you do, put them in the chat. Because like I said, I'm limited to my own knowledge and how we've been using it. There will be so many other ways as well of how to use it. So drafting and reviewing documents and contracts. In that sense, things that I've been getting it to do is I'll upload a document and I'll ask it to look for something in the document, or I will ask it to do a summary for me. So, even if it's like, for example, I had a lawyer leave and then I had to get on board with some of the matters that were happening, and, going through a file review of a year's worth of negotiations and what's been happening is really hard. But what I was doing to just make it super easy was uploading, for example, mediation documents, court orders, latest correspondence. I'd just upload a heap of information like that and then ask it to summarize what's happening on the matter. And it would do a really good job at that kind of thing, saving me hours upon hours of non-billable work. So that kind of thing works very, very well. We have been using it significantly for our marketing, so emails, blog posts, social media content. And it's really interesting because I have been doing a bit of background research as to how our website is tracking. In 2022, when we were still doing SEO by hand, and I'm going to show you guys how to create a bot for your SEO. But when we were doing our SEO by hand, we were getting 350 odd visitors a month into our website. We're now getting more than 1,400 visitors to our website every single month. So our SEO has massively been increasing, and that's just with our own work. I don't have an SEO agency. That's just creating blog articles through ChatGPT that are SEO enhanced. And I'm going to show you how to do that. And social media content, we do all of our social media content with ChatGPT. Frequently asked questions or creating any kind of content like that for your website. client ready summaries, so summaries of matters and things that are happening there, brainstorming ideas, doing calculations. So in family law and lots of your other practice areas as well, you've got to add things up. And often I'll add someone's property pool and get 3 different results 3 different times, because all it takes is you to make one mistake and miss one number. In ChatGPT, you can upload your property pool and you can ask it to calculate it. You can ask it to calculate the percentages of what each party is going to be receiving. Like, it just makes things so much easier. And you can do that by uploading either the Word document or you can upload the PDF, and it can do those calculations for you. Itemize and create chronologies. It's amazing like that. Next week at LawBizCon, Mary Tech is going to be there. They have a product that just does chronology. So for anyone who does litigation, family law, anything like that, their product is amazing, but you can create a mini version of that, but it's not as good on ChatGPT. So those are just some of the things that you can do with the ChatGPT. With drafting correspondence, you can upload, and this is something that I've been doing, you can upload a correspondence and you can ask it to draft you a response and give it the basic outline of the response that you want, and it will draft that for you fairly closely. So that makes life really easy. I recently had a client, we did a trial and the client ended up owing us 40 grand. And then he went to another lawyer to try and get out of paying his fees. And with all of that correspondence, I used ChatGPT to help me. I just uploaded it because it was just a painful, annoying, responding to that kind of thing. And it just helped me get the base of it done. And then I was just able to settle it afterwards. So it just took all of the heat out of it for me and made it heaps easier. So you can definitely use it for things like that. So let's build your own bot today. So the thing about building your own bot is that then you're not using the generic ChatGPT. You're using a bot that has been built for your law firm and for specific uses in your firm. So what I would suggest is that you build several bots, one for your SEO and social media, so your marketing, and one for doing, say, legal work or drafting or responses. So you would feed it both of those bots different information. So currently I've got 3 bots that I've been using. One's for scalable law. One is for the firm generally, and one is for our firm's SEO and blog posts and social media. So we don't use the same one for, say, legal work and social media for the firm, if that makes sense. Okay, so I'm going to try and share this. I'm going to unshare the screen. Okay, so I'll just run through, first of all, how to do it, and then I'll actually just swap screens and show you how to do it. So you have to log into the ChatGPT Plus. So you need the subscription, the paid subscription. And then when you go in there, you'll notice that it says explore GPTs, and you can go and explore lots of different GPTs in there. Those are all GPTs that people like you and I have created. And you can share the GPT publicly, or you can make it a private GPT. So for your law firm, you definitely would want to make it a private GPT, unless for some reason you want to share it with everybody. It doesn't mean they can see what you've been adding, but it means that the training of your bot can then be used by other law firms. So I'm going to show you how to do that either way. And it's probably better that I actually show you how to do this. So then you just go add or plus, and then you start feeding it some information. So I'll swap screens actually. It's just going to be better if I do that. I'll stop sharing that and share the other screen because then I can actually show you. Okay, so we are in ChatGPT now. So what you need to do, so this is my one here for the firm. So this one's the one that we use for all of our social media, blog posts, and all of that kind of thing, which you'll see on the inside of it how it works. I've created one here for Australian family law. It's private; no one else can see it. But what I've done is fed it a lot of precedents. I've fed it a lot of information, legislation, all sorts of stuff so that it can help with family law matters and drafting. But let's go back to this one here. So what you need to do here is go to Explore GPTs. And here are everyone's GPTs that people in the world have created. And you're going to create one of these for your firm. So you go up here to create, click that, and then you can start configuring here your firm's ChatGPT. So depending on what you want to do with your firm's ChatGPT is depending on what you're going to feed it. I'm going to show you inside. I'm going to show you inside this one. So this is what we use for, so I'm going to edit the GPT so it'll take you back to where we've configured it. So description, and then you give it instructions. So I've got some prompts for you guys to give it some full instructions on how to act. And then you can do some conversation starters. And then here you start uploading files. So if you're using it for drafting or anything like that for clients, you want to upload as many precedents as you can. So yesterday I saw, who was it? Simone was asking if people are using AI in their law firms for estate planning. So what I would do in the case of Simone creating a GPT is I would be uploading as many precedents as I could, as well as legislation, information, drafting correspondence. So if you've got any initial advices that you send out to clients, like just precedents, I'd be uploading as much as that as possible to teach it what you're after. So with the instructions, we're looking at your brand overview, your target audience, what you want to sound like. So, strong or however it might be, compassionate, acknowledging stress and uncertainty of clients, etc. Direct and active, so reflecting our proactive approach. So you're really sort of talking it through what your brand voice sounds like. Motivation and growth orientated, accessible and simplifying. Then we go down, and so this one here has been also set up for SEO. So when you want to set one up for SEO, then you also want to add your keywords in there, which I'll show you prompting so you can have a look at that. And then you basically just start feeding it as much as possible. Now, here you can share it, the GPT store, which means that anyone's going to be able to find it. So you probably, as law firm owners, we probably don't want to do that. Here we can share it with anyone that's got a link. So if you've got separate subscriptions of ChatGPT around your office, then you would share this link with everyone in the office, and then they are using your trained GPT, which is what you want, because you want your team, they're all going to be using ChatGPT anyway, but they might not be using a paid subscription. And they might, so you'd rather that they're using the paid subscription and your trained bot. So that's why I would be sharing that with them or sharing your account log on with them. Or you can have it just set as only you. So we have it set with anyone with the link, because that means that everyone in my team can use this here. So we'll save that and update. And you can view your GPT, and it's basically there it goes, and you can ask it anything. So you can also create projects in here as well. And then if you have several GPTs like we do, they will sit on the sidebar, and you can use different GPTs for different purposes within your firm. And then down here, you can see everyone's work and what they've been doing in here, which makes it great because it means you can actually see how people are using it in your firm and what they're using it for. Did I get a chat? Let me just go to the chat and see. So Anna's asked, is this one others outside the firm can see? Only if you click, anyone can see it. Otherwise, it's private and no one else can see it. Can you take the link off staff? Yes, you can. Yep. So you can remove the link from them. So do you share actual client information here? If so, are there any concerns for safety of that data? So it's recommended. So for example, if I upload a Word document, like I wouldn't have particular client names or anything like that in that document. There's the thing with it is that the data isn't like, you're not going to find the data anywhere, for example, like their personal information anywhere, but the GPT is learning off the data. So it is being stored somewhere. So it's going to be better if you're not using particular client data and information. So to redact those names, for example, out of documents before, if it's a PDF, before you upload it. So that's what we've been doing just to make sure, because I don't really know. I don't really know what happens to that data. They say that if you have a Teams subscription, which is quite a lot more expensive, that it is private. But again, I mean, if you're feeding data into anything, we don't really know, right, where it's going. So I would just make sure client data is redacted from there. And then when you settle the document, then you add the specific client names back in there, sort of thing. Does anyone have any questions so far about how to create their own GPT? Before I keep going, does that all make sense?
Caroline, you only have one subscription and then you create different GPTs in the one subscription?
Yes.
Okay,
yeah.
Great.
Yeah. And so the ones, so you can, and so you create, like I would recommend creating different GPTs for different purposes so that it gets trained really well on that one purpose. So for example, you might have one for SEO and one for legal work, or you could even break your legal work down so you could train it even more specifically for, say, for example, parenting versus property or whatever it might be.
Perfect. Thank you.
Carol, I've just got a quick question. You mentioned the training material that you uploaded, but you also mentioned like legislation. Are there ways to plug in like large swathes of material? Like, are there other sort of third-party things that you can, say, train on Ostly or train on, something, a larger database? And
you have to physically feed it, like as an upload documents or upload. So I've been, uploading PDFs and training it that way.
Okay.
It does already know quite a lot though. Like even with the family law stuff, I've been really surprised. Like you can ask it questions simply like, for example, doing a binding financial agreement before, during, or after a relationship. What other right sections of the act, and it will tell you accurately. So it's getting better and better because more and more people are feeding it this information. So, and yeah, it's the more we all feed it information, the more it is going to learn. So
I sat next to Fiona Kirkman at a conference last year, and she was telling me her new product with Judge Watts. They have uploaded all of the Family Law Act, all the different pieces of legislation, the various cases, and it's forming the basis of their new product. I don't know where that is in terms of launch, but I know that they've been feeding a lot of information into it.
Yeah. And there's a lot of companies doing that. Leap is doing that too. We had a conversation about that last week. But obviously, like it must, I don't know how it's doing it so that it's funneled in and it's private to them. And so basically this is how you would create your own private GPT, private to your firm.